Hello there, you're listening to the Box Office Show. I'm Ryan Hill.
And I'm Dylan Johnson. Today we're going to talk about the box office numbers from last weekend and our box office predictions for this upcoming weekend.
And in honor of the next installment of the Tron franchise, we're discussing the first attempt at a legacy sequel in the grid by revisiting 2010's Tron Legacy.
We have some news. There is some rumors going around that Ocean's 14 is in the works. George Clooney says that they are trying to make it happen. Nothing is definitive, and he is trying everything he can to get it done. Supposedly Julia Roberts and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon might be set to return, but there's not much else to be said so far.
Yeah, they're saying it's like, oh, we got some like budget approval from Warner Brothers, but it hasn't been announced by Warner Brothers. You think that they would have put that out there? And then to also make matters more curious, there's still news coming out about the Ocean's prequel with Margot Robbie. And at one point it was going to be Ryan Gosling. Now maybe it's going to be Bradley Cooper. My question is, why are we doing both these projects at once? Like for years and years and years, there's been nothing on the Ocean's front. And then now two projects simultaneously are happening. How about put Margot Robbie and Bradley Cooper in Ocean's 14? And let's just do that. Let's make everyone happy. Let's get everyone involved in the Ocean's franchise. Let's definitely make sure Soderbergh is back in the director's chair. And let's make it happen. This is one of those just franchises that I want to see continue. There's no reason that it can't be continuing right now. So hopefully they're able to figure it out and the whole team, the whole gang will get back together. I would be thrilled for that. In other news, 2027 will be Simscraft. We had Barbenheimer. We had some attempts at recreating that effect. But in 2027, in the summer, we might have that. July 23rd, the Simpsons movie sequel and Minecraft 2 are set to release on the same day. Dylan, what do you think about that? And will you be holding all theater employees in your thoughts and prayers on that day?
I couldn't give less of a shit about Minecraft 2. I hopefully will not have to see it. The only reason I would have to see it is for this show. So hopefully I can just skip it and not bother watching it because the
but
first
you
Minecraft
saw
movie,
Minecraft of your own accord. Okay,
I
we
saw
did not
it
put
because
down
I
the
was
schedule.
dragged to it. I didn't go because I wanted to go. I went because I was forced to go.
Interesting. Who forced you?
A group of people that I went with.
Dang.
A group of individuals
Whole
that wanted
group
to see it. And it was
kidnapped you
awful.
and made you see it.
Absolutely. Simpsons movie, though, very hyped. It has been so long. I don't know why it's been so long. The first Simpsons movie came out 20 years ago, or 20 years in 2027 ago. It came out in 2007. The sequel's coming out 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy time to wait between movies. I don't really watch The Simpsons. I'm a really big Futurama guy. I don't really care that much about The Simpsons specifically, but I really like The Simpsons movie. I think it's very fun. I think it's enjoyable. And I like the world of The Simpsons. You know, I like all the characters and I like the atmosphere and the experience. I just don't really watch The Simpsons itself. I don't find it all that funny for some reason. Maybe I'm just watching the wrong episodes. I don't know. But I think The Simpsons movie is funny. I think Futurama is funny. I think as long as Matt Groening is involved somehow, I think it will be a success.
Interesting. Yeah, I have never watched The Simpsons movie. I've never watched an episode of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's been in the background while I've been around the TV at some point, but like I have never sat down and paid attention watching The Simpsons.
They got
It's
some
just not-
diehard fans, man.
They do, but again, it's been on for so long.
Yeah.
And again, everyone's like, oh, it's not what it once was. I mean, how can you still make it fresh after 30 years, 30 seasons? What are they on? Like
it's like watching
ridiculous.
One Piece, bro.
So, well, that I mean isn't in that sitcom realm. So you have to continually up the ante with the story, but the dedication,
crazy.
If I wanted to sit down and watch The Simpsons, would be akin to be like,
let me see how many episodes there are.
One Piece. Yeah, look that up. I mean, they have
856, including like episodes that they've announced that haven't released yet.
That is so. What season is it on? Like
it is on
33, 32?
Season 37 is releasing right now. Season 37 is coming out right now.
like that is insane. I mean, again, all these are like that. I mean, South Park has been on for it's coming up on its third decade. Family Guy's been around
On
for
down to
two
South
plus
Park, gonna
decades.
have ourselves a time.
So they're all kind of like that. I mean, Futurama's back, but yeah, I
I
mean,
love Futurama.
I don't watch any of them anymore. But there's a time where, like, yeah, definitely I watched all the South Park stuff, Family Guy stuff, some Futurama. I never got fully into it, but
Dude,
maybe
that
one
shit
day
slaps.
it'll be in the cards. But yeah, for me, The Simpsons, I just never. I'm like,
I never got into it.
I don't want to watch it. Like, it just does not appeal to me.
The movie though,
Um,
watch the movie. The movie's good.
I might try that again. I'll take,
Movie slaps.
you know what, 90 minutes can't be more than
It's
two
just a
hours
really
for
good
sure. So
story. It's really well thought out, and it's
I'll,
funny.
I'll be down for that. But we also have on the docket a Tangled live action adaptation. It was something that they had announced years ago, and the slew of all their adaptations they're trying to do. And then Snow White didn't do so well, and so they, pumped the brakes a bit. But now it seems like it is back in the works. Scarlett Johansson is rumored to be Mother Gothel in that, and then we don't know what the other casting is at this point, but definitely this seems like one that would be huge because it, talk about 2010s and whatnot. I mean, it's coming back around for nostalgia for 2000s, late 2000s. So I feel like this would be one of the monster hits for the live action adaptations.
I'm saying.
So, what do you think about that?
Uh, Again, I don't really care about Tangled that much, and I don't like live action adaptations. But of all the ones you could live action adapt, this one seems like the easiest, the most straightforward, and could come out the best compared to some others. I've
Mhm.
heard good things about the princess specific ones are, I think, relatively easy to adapt as opposed to some others, and I think I've heard good things about the Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson that came out many years ago. So perhaps this one would be fun. I mean, Mulan, I guess, is an example of one that did not come out great, but
Yeah,
hey, I think it has potential. They get the right cast in there.
indeed. And then ScarJo will be continuing her run of box office dominance because
Yeah,
this again could be another $1 billion flick under her belt. So
I don't know
that'll
how
be
I feel about
interesting to watch.
ScarJo as Mother Gothel though.
Yeah, I don't know that it would be like my first assumption that ScarJo would be the one to pick for that role, but good for her if she wants to have fun in the part. So we will
Yeah,
see if that comes to fruition, but something to look out for. And if it does happen, again, I think it'd be one to look out for on the box office track.
yep. And another thing we're getting, Heat 2. Who's pumped for that? A sequel to the 90s crime thriller by Michael Mann. Heat. It's Heat 2. Michael Mann is
Indeed.
returning to direct. Robert De Niro supposedly coming back. Al Pacino supposedly coming back. Leonardo DiCaprio possibly starring. Possibly
So
taking over Val Kilmer's role from the original, is my
indeed,
guess.
that would be the assumption there. Uh, Dylan, you didn't read the full title of Heat 2.
Sorry, Heat 2 fired the fuck up.
I thought you were going to read that. That is, of course, not a real subtitle for it, but I thought it'd be hilarious if they just did something like that. All the stupid like sequels,
Yeah.
especially the like direct DVD sequels where they just have absurd subtitles there. So
Mhm.
Heat 2, that, or Heat 2 Reheated, like all this stuff. I feel like it should go in that direction. Again, just assembling like the greatest actors that we have for this crime thriller and then just giving it the most absurd name. I'd
Did
be
you
down.
like the original Heat?
Dude, Heat, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
You sound like you're about to launch into either a good or bad tirade right there. It's a very
No.
lukewarm response. I've seen it. I've seen it a long time ago. I remember it
Hmm.
being very long. It's almost a 3-hour movie.
Indeed.
And parts of it are really awesome.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is a little slow, if I remember correctly. I don't know. It's been so long that I really shouldn't levy any opinion whatsoever about it. I watched it like 10 years ago, maybe.
I'll tell you what, it's one of those that I've been scared to watch because I'm like, it's been cited so often as this great movie. Again, like great inspirations for all the crime thrillers that came afterwards. And so I'm like, what if it doesn't hit for me? That would just be a travesty. And I've also been,
It definitely feels like ahead of its time. Like it was the precursor for those late 90s, early 2000s crime thrillers. That and
mhm,
Die Hard, I felt like were kind of the precursors, you know.
mhm. So yeah, I am going to watch it sometime next few months. Like it's been on the list. There's been times where I'm like, okay, maybe this is the time, the week. but I really want to, as you said, it's like the 3 hours, so I want to dedicate the full 3 hours to it, and make it a nice viewing environment.
Yeah.
So definitely before Heat 2, if it happens, I will need to watch it. So yeah, I'm pumped for Heat 2 existing. I think it's great. We'll talk about legacy sequels with Tron Legacy, but it's bizarre some of the legacy sequels that we're getting now of like not big franchise IP stuff, but things like Gladiator getting a legacy sequel, Heat getting a legacy sequel, uh, Devil Wears Prada. It's like odd films that you wouldn't anticipate getting sequels at all, let alone, 10, 15, 20, 30 years after the fact. But
Yeah, not necessarily box office hits, but just beloved cultural films,
exactly, like they made the mark in the long run, if not setting the box office on fire in its first,
Yeah.
run. So I like that. I kind of like that trend, and I definitely like when people are passionate to return. So like Michael Mann coming back,
Mhm.
and then DiCaprio wanting to jump at this, and he doesn't do sequels, and so him coming in and doing this,
Yeah.
is a testament to, he's like, this will be awesome. I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So
Where's
definitely something to
Coppola?
look
Let's
for.
get Godfather 4 out here. It's about time. It's been over 30 years since Godfather 3. Let's get Godfather 4 cooking.
Yeah, he's got
It'll
Megalopolis
pretty
out of the
much just
way,
be it'll
so let's
pretty
just
much
do it.
just be The Sopranos. It'll be like 2000s gangsters in New Jersey.
Hmm.
That'd be fun. Let's do our box office breakdown now for October 3rd to the 5th. Coming in first place with a whopping 34 million. Taylor Swift, the official release party of a showgirl. Crazy numbers.
Indeed.
Insane numbers. Better than the One Battle After Another premiere. Insane. For what
Oh
is
yeah.
essentially a music video, some visualizers, and like Taylor Swift just talking to the camera.
Yeah, again, I still don't know what the runtime was for it, but hopefully, all the Swifties felt like they got their money's worth. I'm sure they feel like they did. So, yeah, the one weekend only extravaganza, Taylor Swift on top.
Ludicrous.
After that, one battle after another with 11 million. It took a 50% drop, so
Not bad.
50% flat. It's not bad.
Not bad.
So hopefully it'll continue to have strong leads, really good holds in the next few weeks.
And in its debut, the Smashing Machine with an abysmal 5.8 million. Get ready for Dwayne the Rock Johnson to come back to WWE.
Yep. So we're getting, that live action Moana. We're getting Jumanji, and we're getting another final boss appearance at WrestleMania.
Another Red
So,
Notice.
yeah, good God. Um, but yeah, Gabby's Dollhouse with 5.3 million almost beat out The Rock in the Smashing Machine. So that is astonishing. It's made 20 million domestic, Gabby's Dollhouse. So possibly a sequel in the works there. I can't imagine the budget was very high for that. So there you go.
Yeah. And after that was The Conjuring Last Rites with 4.1 million.
Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, 3.5 million.
Avatar, The Way of Water, 3.2 million.
The Strangers Chapter 2, 2.8 million.
Good Boy, the horror movie about a dog, 2.3 million.
And The Long Walk, 1.7 million. It now has crossed 30 million in its domestic gross, and it'll probably no longer be on the top 10 anymore.
Yep.
But fairly decent Stephen King adaptation return. I feel like a lot of the other ones he's done haven't really hit. I think this one did well enough, and I think it's going to be a good like streamer hit wherever it ends up. As for our box office predictions, October 10th to the 12th, Tron Ares is coming out. And to give you a comparison point for the previous Trons, the original 1982 had 4 million, and in 2010, Tron Legacy opened to 44 million.
I think to continue the trend, Tron Ares must open to $444 million.
I think it is possible. I think it's got in the bag. So
Put it
what
in
do you
the
think Tron Ares will get?
I'm thinking 35 to 40 million.
I think that is pretty on the money. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a massive opening, but it's still recognizable IP. It's Disney has been putting the marketing out there, so I think people are definitely going to show up. But whether or not it makes back all its money, whether or not we're going to get another Tron sequel within 5 to 10 years of this one, I don't know that that'll happen. But yeah, I'm thinking Probably won't hit 40 million, but should be over 30 million. We'll see if it beats out Taylor Swift. If it gets 35 million, then that'll be good. If it's not able to, then oof, that'll be rough.
Oof, indeed.
All right. So now let's dive into Tron Legacy, but just in general, your relationship to the franchise of Tron. There's that original movie. There's Tron Legacy. There's an animated Tron Uprising show. There's the Tron arcade game. So, what's your relationship with Tron? How do you feel about
I remember being a kid and playing light bikes on the phone app with friends.
it?
You remember light bikes? Just pretty much just Tron, but they had to rename it
Uh
for
huh.
the phone app. That shit slapped. Of course it slapped. It was just
Hmm.
like at first it was just like literally like a little, like the original Tron game, just a flat surface. And
Yep.
then as the app updated, it was almost like following the actual pathway of the original Tron game. As the app got updated, they added more layers that you could jump up and down between, and you were just trying to like you're just trying to run the other people off with the light bike, and it was sick. It was awesome. It was a great game. That was my first interaction with what is technically Tron.
There's
And
just as a random side note in GTA 5, there's all the like GTA Online stuff you can do, and then you create your own maps and whatnot.
yeah,
There's like a mini game all about essentially like light bikes that you could
yeah,
have, which looked really good. And so yeah, I don't know why they never made a Tron like branded video game that was either accessible in like console stuff or like even the phones, because
Disney
it
still
is
has
really
time.
fun. Like
Disney still has time.
it's appealing. It's like anyone can understand the basic
Yeah,
gist of what you're trying to do there.
the
It's really
combat would
fun.
work. The flying machines they have in Tron Legacy, that would be really
Yeah.
cool to see. There's like a lot of the disc throwing that they do in both this and the original. There's like a
Hmm.
lot of potential for like a full 3D model Tron game in on
Exactly.
like console, you know. But Disney's not great in terms of like turning their products into video games.
Hmm.
They're not notorious for that, you know. They don't partner well with other studios, and they have their own video game studio, I believe, and they're just not very strong,
Indeed.
indeed. But because I played light bikes and stuff in class with all the friends, because that was the big what to do on our new smartphones, you know, being in middle school. Or actually, no, I didn't have a phone, I think, until early high school. Back being like early high school and playing on these little phones with your friends, playing light bikes. It was that and like iMessage games were like the big thing, I remember. And
Yeah.
so I watched Tron, the original Tron. I watched Tron Legacy when it came out, 2011, uh,
2010.
2010. Not the biggest fan when it comes out, you know?
Oh wow.
I don't know what it was. I really like the club scene, and that's about it. I remember that being that as a kid. I went
Uh-huh.
on a camping trip. At some point in the camping trip, like 2014 ish, we watched Tron Legacy again. I watched it. Still not the biggest fan. I think I leave halfway through. Um, watch the original Tron. I like it. I think it's fun. I think the graphics are funny, you know, because it's like old 1980s computer graphics before
Hmm.
back when computers were the size of buildings, you know. And love Jeff Bridges. I'm just like having a good time with OG Tron. And then flash forward to college, rewatch Tron Legacy because my roommate was a huge fan, and because we had to rewatch Tron for a sci-fi class that we were in. It was 80 sci-fi movies, and Tron, the original Tron, was one of the movies we had to
Oh.
watch. We watched that, and then we rewatched Tron Legacy. And dude, kid me was so wrong. This movie fucks. This movie fucks so hard. It is awesome. It is super, super stylistic because of Joseph Kosinski's background in architecture. It looks incredible. The lighting is incredible. The
Oh yeah.
CGI effects still hold up 15 years later.
100%.
100% hold up. Look fantastic. The music, Daft Punk. Are you kidding me? One of the biggest
Yep.
bands at the time, let alone now, Daft Punk.
Hmm.
Great choice.
With their own cameo in the film in a great way. It fit in
Absolutely.
perfectly.
And just really, really fun characters. Very, very simple story, which I dig. And just straightforward and just an enjoyable ride. And it
Yeah.
fucks.
I 100% agree. I feel like let me try and look up right now what it has on like Rotten Tomatoes, like because I feel like the initial response, and then in the few years after, everyone was kind of like tepid on it. But since then, especially seeing the blockbusters that we get nowadays, seeing the true, genuine style of the world of Tron, which is
It's like the
so
Star
well
Wars
done
prequels
and
effect
beautiful.
of like people malign it at the time because there's like some story things or maybe they're nitpicking, and then years go on and people keep rewatching it and we see like what we get nowadays, especially in Star Wars now, and we look back and we're like, wow, the prequels they hold up a lot better than I thought they would, you know?
Yeah,
Just with time. They get better with time. I think
I
Tron
think
Legacy had that effect.
yeah, I think that's the case. Nostalgia probably plays into especially our generation with the prequel stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, yeah, we saw this when we were what 10, so there could
Mhm.
be the nostalgia factor now kicking in, but
But I didn't like it when I was 10 and I like it
which
now.
is what's compelling because yeah, so
Yeah.
the initial response is like, oh, it just didn't quite click. But
I
again, I
didn't
haven't seen.
appreciate the beautiful world at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you,
I
because
didn't
just being
appreciate
so
like
immersed
how
is.
wonderful like the slickness is of it. I was like a
Oh
huge
yeah,
fan of dirty, gritty sci-fi, like garbage looking worlds, and this is like a very sleek, specifically designed like utopia with like something dark underneath it, and I didn't appreciate that at the time.
hmm
I also didn't appreciate CGI enough at the time because god damn it looks good, and god damn do we get some rough CGI these days.
yeah. We were spoiled back then. Again, the Transformers
Dude, the
films
Pirates
still
movies?
hold up. The Pirates films still hold up. Lord of the Rings, even early
Oh
two
my god,
thousands,
yeah, it does.
hold up. Avatar, obviously. So it's like we didn't know how good we had it at that time, and we
Yeah.
just thought, oh, continually get better, better, better. Not the case because as more films need
Look at the
massive
dwarves in
amounts of
Snow
CGI,
White. Came
it
out
doesn't work.
this year, last year. They look rough.
Yeah, they do look rough.
Rough looking
One thing
dwarves.
though that this film was not able to boast was proper deepfake technology. You know, doing the de
Sure,
aging effect on Jeff Bridges, which
sure.
now obviously is
I
incredible.
think it
But
helps. I'm gonna
it
make the
actually
argument that I
works
think it helps.
for the story
Yes.
only when it's a clue.
Yes.
But then you see like the real world, actual like back in time in
Young
1985, and
Jeff
it's like
Bridges, yeah.
young Jeff Bridges, like the actual human, also looks like that, and it's like that's not good. But
But
him
it works
looking
when
like
it's
a video
Clue
game character
because he's a video
works.
game character. Yeah,
Yeah.
that works. It reminds me of like Alita Battle Angel kind of stuff. You know,
hmm
a little
So
bit
yeah.
like soft looking. But Alita Battle Angel definitely looks better than this.
So even the one element that's like kind of outdated, half of it still works,
More than
which
half. I
is
mean, de-aged Jeff Bridges mostly appears as Clue.
that's true. That's true. But
We only see young Jeff Bridges in some flashbacks. That isn't Clue. What's his character's name?
uh, Jeff Bridges' character, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, we got Sam Flynn is his son. Kevin Flynn is Jeff
Yes.
Bridges. We got Cora in there as well. So yeah, I just think it's interesting that like just the way the blockbuster movie landscape has been over the past 15 years, seeing something like Tron Legacy that has such a distinctive visual style, has incredible visual effects, the production design is amazing, and then a lot of the like action. I don't know, this toppest tier stuff. Again, we've seen Kosinski himself do much better in other films, but it just is entertaining enough that you enjoy that part. You enjoy being in the world. The characters, as you said, are very straightforward. The plot is very straightforward, but it's just enough to give a like satisfying popcorn experience,
Yeah.
which has increasingly become rare with like these big films. I haven't seen Trinders yet. I'm assuming you have not seen it yet since it's come out this
Yeah.
weekend.
The thing I consistently hear is that it's not good, but the action is good and the CGI is good and the music's good. You know,
Okay, so we'll see
which could be enjoyable still. You know, there could still be some enjoyment there.
if
I
that
like
pans out.
hearing good music in these movies. I like good
hmm
CGI, which is great, and I like good action. That's all I really. I don't care so much about the story, I guess. But
Got
this one doesn't have a bad story. It's just very simple, very
Yeah,
straightforward.
but I think it works, and we'll dive
Yeah,
into that stuff. But yeah, the father son story I think does like really click here.
yeah.
So yeah, for me, I saw it when it came out. I've probably seen clips here and there when it's playing on TV. If it's like one of the light cycle action scenes, I'll probably stay and watch that. But this is not necessarily one that I'm like, okay, I need to be glued to the couch to watch the rest of it if I flip through the channels and see that it's on. So this is probably my first time fully like rewatching it in 15 years.
Mhm,
So I was coming in pretty much clean slate. Like I
mhm.
remember kind of liking it, but it's not like it became instantly one of my favorite movies or ones that I was like, oh, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or Edge of Tomorrow, like stuff that even then I was like, this is incredible and like I'll love revisiting this in the future. Like I thought it was solid, but nothing crazy special. So I had no real like biases coming into this rewatch. Um, but like I said, I think it's very pleasant. I think it's very uh, just satisfactory. It 100% nails like the big popcorn theatrical experience that it was trying to give. The other component actually is 3D, especially right after Avatar. It was like huge at this
Oh
time.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
watching the stuff, you could see like the action here was geared towards like people watching it in 3D. There's that whole phase where anything and everything would become 3D, but not
Mm,
everything was shot to be seen in 3D. So I
so
appreciate that
fun.
this one was, catering to that of like, okay, again, we're trying to immerse you as much as possible into the world, and even the 3D filmmaking choices were geared towards
Is
that.
Avatar Fire and Ash also going to be 3D?
Yep,
Interesting.
it sure is. Again, he's keeping up with that. That's the one film that's like,
It's the only
uh,
proper use of it.
it
He's the
is,
only one that
yeah,
understands how to use it right.
100%. So we'll see. I don't know if 3D will ever come back in a big way. Again, it's more like the 4DX type stuff now, which I
Yeah.
guess again merge with 3D. I mean, we'll see how they do that, but
Dude,
um,
Avatar Fire and Ash in 4DX.
they'll go intense.
Let's run
They'll
it.
go hard. Sean Tormey,
Avatar Way of Water, they
big
just
fan.
drown the theater.
uh, and then what they do with fire and ash, they just you get
Burn it up.
burned. You're just burning up.
They just light a fire. They light a trash can on fire in the front of the theater.
So, but yeah, Sean Tormey, he's a big 40X fan at the moment. He's gonna go
Really?
see Tron Ares. Actually, we should check in with him.
That would be fun
We'll
to
get
see in
to
4DX.
yeah. So
I've
again,
never done it before.
you gotta try again.
I gotta try it.
Kosinski, him and Top Gun Maverick. I was like, that'll be my first go, and it was
Where is the
fantastic. It was
4DX
awesome.
theater? Is it Waterford?
Waterford definitely has, 40X,
Hmm.
and then I don't know if Point Orlando does, but obviously that's super far. So Waterford
Yeah,
would be the one to go to.
sure.
But yeah. Anyway, talking about Tron Legacy, directed by Joseph Kosinski, as we said, who would go on to make Oblivion, Top Gun Maverick, most recently F1, and it was written by Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz, based on the world by Steven Lisberger and Bonnie McBird. They were the ones that wrote the original Tron, starring Jeff Bridges, Garrett Hedlund, Olivia Wilde, Bruce Boxleitner, Michael Sheen, James Frann, and Cillian Murphy. Very briefly, but he's in there.
He's in there.
And then, of
Ever so
course,
slightly. The
scored
essence of
by
Killian Murphy.
Daft Punk.
Dude, the legends.
Indeed. So I like that became, a major component of Tron as well. Like everyone was wondering when this new Tron was coming out, we're like, who's going to be doing the score? Since Daft Punk is retired, like, are they coming out of retirement? Who's going to take over? And then we got Nine Inch Nails doing it. So
Good choice. Strong
best
choice.
best option if you can't get Daft Punk. So
My
um,
favorite thing is people keep commenting, oh, the new Nine Inch Nails album came with a movie.
so we will dive into Tron Legacy and all the little parts about it. What were some of your favorite moments? You said the club stuff stuck
The club
out
stuff has
as
always
a
been
kid.
good.
How did it hit this time?
Always great. Always enjoyable. The action is a little shorter
Mhm.
than I remember, but still just love the world building of that club scene. I love the initial disc fight when Garrett Hedlund Sam first shows up in the world and they do that disc battle. I love the opening, by the way, where it is just him trying to break into NCOM and parachuting off the building and like just like being this renegade sort of CEO of this company or the renegade sort of lineage of this company, trying
Mhm.
to save it from the clutches of Killian Murphy's sexy whims. I love everything to do with that, kind of grounding it really, and then bringing back Bruce Boxleitner to kind of be that father figure to him since Jeff Bridges isn't there. He doesn't know
Yeah,
what happened to Jeff Bridges, and he gets sucked into the game, and they do that disc fight, and is a very nice callback to the original Tron. I very much enjoyed that.
100%. Yeah, I think that was really well done. I like the ways that they upped the ante. So we
Mhm.
had, the floor would break if it got hit too many times by the
Yeah,
disc, and he used that to his favor in the fight. So I thought that was a clever piece of action writing and just filming it. And then him also just trying to bust out, like he was able to get out of that one, drop down to the other floor where the other fighters were still going
Mhm.
at it. Like he was really making a run for it from
Yeah,
the get go,
he's trying to
and
get out of there, man.
feel that from his renegade nature in the real world.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff. Dude, what you think of the Rizzler being the? Did you rewatch this recently? The guy's name is
No, no.
Rinsler, and
Is
they
there?
chant for him. But the first time it came up, when they're like, "And now taking on the user is the Rinsler," and I was like, "What? We got the Rizzler out here?" So ahead of its time in so many ways, Tron Legacy.
Yeah, yeah. They could really see the future coming, you know. But
But
no, I think it's all
everyone
great.
chanting his name in the auditorium, it was really funny.
He's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, the other component, I just also like every time that the one dude is announcing the stuff, like the game master,
Mhm.
um, the way that he says user, like a slur, like he says it with
User.
such vitriol. And again, it sounds like he's just saying like loser, but it's user. Like he's putting the exact same like affectation that you would if you're calling
Yeah.
someone a loser. So just those little moments, like it has fun, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which harkens
And
back to
then
the original Tron. There's a lot of times where just being goofy, having fun. Like Jeff
yeah, of course.
Bridges driving around it's like the storage ship thing,
Yeah.
uh, and he's just like hitting everything,
Yeah.
but he's having a fun time doing it. I just like
Awesome.
that,
And light cycles, dude. The
bro.
whole light cycle fight, sick.
They look
So
so
awesome.
cool. Again, the
Yes, it
original
did.
Tron. Really, again, it's tough because
It is
it's
tough.
so innovative at the time. But looking back at it, it truly like it pains my soul. Like it kind of hurts my eyes to look at it.
Yeah, sure. I
But
mean, if you
the
look
like,
at how they're filming it, they have these like bioluminescent fucking suits on, and they're just like blaring lights at it to make it look like it's glowing, you
yeah.
know. And so it's intentionally kind of like they're trying to make everything seem futuristic, but really it just is burning your eyeballs
Well,
to
yeah, there's
stare at.
that, and they did like the rotoscoping stuff too, because
Hmm.
they filmed, I think, the Tron stuff or a lot of it in black and white, and then they just like
Hmm.
tinted everything afterwards and
Yeah.
try to
Yes. Yes.
fill in the
Yes.
lines. Um, and so that always like bothered me in a way. And then yeah, it's just tough to look at. But the fully like computer generated scenes, which they did for all the like wide shots of the light cycles going around. I mean, that stuff looks solid. A lot of the stuff of again showing the ships and transport vehicles, all
Hmm.
this stuff look good. Again, the designs are compelling, and
Yeah.
everything being strips of neon, like it
Hmm.
visually it looks good in concept, but it wasn't realized well in that original Tron film because of just where we were at the time with special effects and visual effects.
Yeah.
In
Until now.
2010, oh my god, it just
Oh, it
looks
looks so awesome.
sensational.
Those
Every bit
big
of
like
it, everything.
N-shaped ships that are flying around, the Tron ships,
Mhm.
look so sick.
Those are
They're
incredible.
scary.
The light cycles are incredible. I love how they, the way they just open them up, and then we get that slow mo before they hop on the light cycle and then take off.
Oh yeah, and they like materialize out of the pipe.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
handlebars technically. Oh my god, dude, it's so cool.
So yeah, just sick ideas like that. The discs as well, which again in the original Tron was just like a frisbee, and then here they make them the discs. Again, the concept of it, of like again, just like computer stuff, their storage, their memory is just like a disc, is really funny. But then now it becomes part of their weapons.
Mhm.
Um, so I just think that is like interesting, cool. I mean, you don't really see that in any other. I guess like a what other character has a boomerang? Like maybe that's the closest. I guess the shield, Captain America's shield. But otherwise, like that's just sort of a unique weapon, a unique thing to have in a character's repertoire. So all that stuff is cool. It's just again visually, it's really nice, and the world building is fun. It's just fun, and being immersed in it
Mhm.
is really great.
Yeah.
So we have that the lights. Oh, the fireworks as well.
Ooh,
Rewatching it, the way that the
really cool.
fireworks are like sort of digitized, like they're all connected, is really cool. Dune Part Two
Mhm.
had some awesome fireworks, like watery effects. This one was like digitized, super cool. Like and just stuff like that. I'm like, this feels like a fully fleshed out world. All the production designers, all the visual effects artists that were working on it, that are able to like create that stuff, knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. Just a lot of great wonderful thought put into it.
110%.
Absolutely.
So we have all that stuff. Another thing I really like, just give a shout out, Bruce Boxleitner. Love that guy because
Yeah.
he's Captain John Sheridan in Babylon 5,
Okay.
which I adore and love. So
Sure.
he's great. Getting to see him is wonderful. Um, I don't know how they would have fit him in more. I think he was fit in perfectly, but I just love that dude. So I wish we
Mhm.
would have seen more of him.
Good shout
Jeff
out.
Bridges,
Dude, love him. I've
fantastic.
I've always been in love with Jeff Bridges. He is the greatest person of all time. Every movie he's in, he is so captivating every time he's on screen. I love him to death. He's one of the best actors, best American actors of all time, one of the best actors of all time. He's so committed. You think of Jeff Bridges, you think of the dude, right? You know,
Yeah.
this lazy, like kind of easygoing guy who's just trying to get things going, might get frustrated sometimes. You think of the dude because that's kind of how Jeff Bridges presents himself when he's just hanging around. He's like, "Come on, man, come on, how's it going, man?"
Yeah.
And then you see him do like really serious things here as Clue is a like we talk about Kevin, and Kevin's kind of like a fun-go-lucky guy too, but Clue, he's doing that performance too, and he's intimidating. He's great. He's like a great villain in this role, and I think he's great in all kinds of other serious stuff. I think he's great in the Last Picture Show many years ago in the '70s, one of his first roles. Uh, I think he's fantastic in that, and that's a very different role than what we see him in later on in his career. I think he's great. He's just
100%.
always so committed, so dedicated.
And I wonder where, like for the original Tron, because he's kind of like that too, of like the whole man, like that just stoner esque
Hmm.
vibe to him, which he carries on in here. Like he has a line, "Bio digital jazz, man."
Bio
And
digital jazz,
he's just
man.
always to his
Come
son. He's just
on,
always be
man.
like, "Come on, man,
It's a great
you're
line.
messing up my zen, man." So I just love like when he's in that gear. It's always great.
Hmm.
In the flashbacks, when it's him just telling the story about like how Clue turned against him,
Hmm.
he gives the greatest delivery of "yeah"
Dude, I'm so
of all
glad you
time.
said it. I'm so glad you wrote it down. It is fantastic. It's him talking to himself, right? And
Yep.
Clue is like militaristic and very stiff, and he says, Flynn, is it still our mission to create the perfect system? And they're like yelling at each other across a giant like cityscape. And then
Hmm.
Kevin goes, "Yeah."
It's the greatest thing.
It's so good. It is so wonderful. Yeah.
It's just perfectly done. Like, was that intended? Like, how many times did they do that? Or the moment that happened was Kosinski like, that's going in the film. Like, that's the one. Because you could imagine he'd want to go a different direction of like, oh, you're like really intimidated now. You're wondering what's
Mhm.
going on. But he
No, I
just
think the confused works so much better because he's like, "This is Clue." It's weird
yeah.
that he's asking me
He's
this
like
question and being so
like
intense, but it's Clue.
mhm.
He's my friend. So it's just like a confused, like, "Yeah."
So yeah, definitely a highlight of the film for sure is that stuff. What do you think
It's the
of?
it's the exact same reaction that I would have if like I made plans to go to the movies with somebody and they were standing outside my door and they went, "Dylan, is it still our plan to go to the movies tonight?" I would go,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
What do you think of Sam and Cora?
I think Olivia Wilde is great. I think she's doing a lot of work here. I think she's a lot of fun. She's it was great in the action scenes. I think she's carrying the character very well. And for being like kind of the hero program in the movie, while
Mhm.
Kevin and Sam are humans users, I think she's doing a lot of work here. She's like the very interested sort of ISO that just wants to like learn more about humans and is very friendly and kind. And I think she's great. Garrett Hedlund, I think he's doing the job. I think he's not bad. There's just nothing about him that stands out to me. He's just like the hero, and that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like they're both kind of cookie cutter
You think so?
in the roles. Like I think like I enjoy Olivia Wilde's performance, but
Hmm.
I think the character is written in such a way where it's like, yeah, we've seen this a
Yeah,
thousand
sure.
times before. And then with Sam, especially, he's kind of like the sort of bland, generic, like action hero. Like, yeah, there's nothing really
I would make
particular
the
or
argument,
singular about
however,
him.
I would make the argument as well. Maybe not against anything that you said, but that I think Jeff Bridges' characters, Kevin and Clue, are also kind of just simply basically written archetypes of characters that you see in stories like this, but Jeff Bridges brings some zest to it that makes it so great.
He does. I would
Biodigital
say
jazz, man.
incredible. I would say for sure with Clue, like I don't I think that's a very like standard stock like villain in how he's written. And then again the performance
Sure.
of just because he's doing the voice, maybe they was doing the motion capture, I guess someone else was
He's doing
doing
the
the
face
body stuff.
capture, not the body stuff.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one wasn't as I don't know, just didn't stand out. Of course, Jeff Bridges as when we're able to see him in his full glory with that beard and the hair and everything.
Oh, dude, he's so
Um,
cool. He's just
very
so cool.
magnetic, looks great, and so I think yeah,
In
it brings
15
more
years,
life into
he's
that
still
character,
cool. Still cool.
100%. But I would say going back to the idea of like this being a legacy sequel, which it's one of the first legacy sequels. Like this is before in the mid 2015, like obviously with Star Wars, Jurassic World, Mad Max could qualify. We got like a lot of legacy sequels. The Halloween stuff came back, the Scream stuff came back, like all these different genres. Tron Legacy was kind of the first of that wave. Maybe the Indiana Jones with Crystal Skull kind of qualifies since that was like a big gap in
Yeah,
time.
I think
Um,
so.
and
Maybe.
so I think, like, from the character standpoint of this guy who's like one of our key protagonists in that original Tron, and then now we're like revisiting him older, and he's had, this failure, not necessarily by his own. It was by his own creation, I guess, since Clue was his creation, and even points out in the film, which I thought was a nice moment of like, I created you at a time when I didn't realize that there are like things more important than quote unquote perfection, and
Mhm.
that like chasing that perfection is just not even possible, but not even desirable. And so like the you that I created was a me that was not fully matured.
Yeah.
So I think that element to it is really compelling. But again, he like had that failure, and he wasn't able to be there for his child who had to be raised for what is like 15 almost 20 years or something, where he's been disappeared. And so I like that element to it where I feel, again, a lot of this is through the performance, but I think just the like approaching the character in this way where he was our hero in the past, he's definitely like our protagonist or one of our protagonists, someone we're rooting for, somebody to like here, but he's like got some flaws, got some rough edges there. And he even initially, which disappoints Sam, is like, let's just hold out. Let's wait. Like, let's continue to be patient, and not try and play into Clue's hands by going to the portal. And
Mhm.
so I just like that element. I
Yeah.
like that. Again, he's the older character. He's the legacy character, but we're able to treat him in a way where he's not like overly venerated and is the coolest guy ever. Like this dude, which I guess they need to have the discs on their back, maybe. I don't know. But I feel like, especially when you're in a fighting situation, and if you're rocking that like trench coat robe thing that he was
Mhm.
rocking when he shows up in the club, which is
Mhm.
so cool. Again, the drip in Tron, incredible. But I'm
Awesome.
like, what if you just, surely there's got to be a big pocket there that you can just like take your disc that is the most important thing in the world right now that they're trying to take from you and slip it into there.
Yeah,
Or
your back doesn't seem like he
just
should put it on his
walk
chest.
backwards, maybe. Like when you're about to leave the function, turn around so that they can't get your disc. That again is the most important thing they're going
Just put
for.
it in your hands. Just put it in your hands and walk with it.
Hold it, like let it grip
Hold
that.
the damn thing.
So
I think he should have
that
been wearing it on his chest like a badge of pride. That would have been
that would be
sick.
cool, yeah. So that's more of like a plot contrivance thing. That I don't know, it's a full character thing. But again, stuff like that of like the mistake there of just the elevator door closes and some dude grappled his disc right off his back. Um, like tape that thing around, like buckle it up, like sir.
Use a zip tie,
Surely there's got to
man.
be other ways to make sure
Generate a
that
zip
tape
tie and
on.
just zip tie it to you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just like that, especially in context of again with all the other legacy sequels. There's always like a risk of how do we receive this character? 10, 20, 30 years later, you need there to be
Biodigital
drama.
jazz, man.
You need there to be flaws so that there can be growth. And I think this one handled that really well. And yeah, biodigital jazz. So, any other major elements that you want to bring up here for Tron Legacy?
Dude, I just think it's sick. I just think it's so cool. And I like the ending. I like the ending when they escape and Kevin stays behind to look after his world. and Sam and Cora get out and they're riding on the motorcycle. And I like that she can feel the sun on her because she talks about that earlier. I think it's a nice conclusion to her character. And I think it does set up the concept of Tron Ares in a good way, in the sense that this is the first time a computer program in this, cinematic universe has left the computer world and entered the real world. And now you have Tron Ares where they're trying to militarize that concept of bringing programs out into the real world. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that fully plays out in Tron Ares, and whether or not, are there going to be any connections to this film with the Flynns, or with Alan, or with Cora, like what's she up to? I don't know if they're going to touch on that, imply that, or just completely ignore it. But I do think that there's a compelling direction that this one set up. So hopefully they'll be able to deliver on that. As far as the ending stuff, there's that aerial sequence,
dude,
where the jets have
so cool,
the light trails as well. Awesome.
That was him warming up for Top Gun Maverick, man. I'm telling you,
it sure was.
Is sick. It's so cool. The idea of these ships, dude, when the ship like has the two beams of light jet out of its engines and it spirals and it makes like a spiral. Oh, dude, so cool looking. Genius design. It just looks awesome.
So a visual treat for sure. And then I do like in that final confrontation where Kevin's able to get back his memories. Like we see, there's one little snippet earlier in the film where he's dreaming, but like the faces are all grayed out. He's like not able to see his son when he was a kid, when he last saw him. And then at the very end, they're able to be restored. So I thought that was beautiful. And then he does the reintegration where he just starts like sucking the clue guy towards him and is able to allow for Sam and Cora to escape, to go up in the portal. But then this man blows up that like portal thing.
Yeah.
At least from what we see. So I don't know how he's supposed to be in this next one. I mean, we were just like voice in the trailer, but I don't know if that's...
He's probably fine.
It's probably fine. Okay.
It's movie world. Chilling. You can say whatever you want.
He's chilling again in there.
If they can bring back Palpatine, they can bring back Kevin Flynn.
That was not a good idea. So they shouldn't bring back Flynn if he did indeed sacrifice himself in this way. Yeah, again, I think it's solid. I think the father-son conversation that they had earlier on the train, it worked well enough. So I think the emotional impact here is strong enough where in the midst of all, the action and all the visual treat that we get elsewhere, like I can see some people for sure, like really connecting with it and being emotionally impacted. And here I like that it's, there is some emotion, like it's something you can latch onto. So it's not like it's only visuals and only action from this film. You get that simple story that has a really solid conclusion. So yeah, anything else for Tron Legacy? Final thoughts?
Like I said before, it just fucks. It fucks so hard.
Copy that. How many light cycles out of 5?
I'm gonna give it 4. It doesn't fuck that hard. Nah, it's fun. It's just very fun.
I give it 3.5. Again, it's like a very competently made, enjoyable blockbuster film. The kind of which that, we don't get all the time anymore. So
what was the last one you think you saw in theaters?
Of what?
Just like a fun popcorn film.
Going back a couple years, again, Dungeons and Dragons, I think, excels at that. So that one would be one. Let's see, what came out earlier this year? Were there any big like summer
Sinners was fun.
I did like F1.
That also had
about Kosinski.
F1, yeah, sure. Sinners also had like some deeper messaging that you had to unpack. It wasn't just like a popcorn flick.
Yeah, but that one, definitely genre forward though. So I would say Sinners for sure. But I treat that more than just like blockbuster popcorn fare. Like
for sure,
there's definitely more to it, and that going in with Kugler. Same with like One Battle After Another. Like it is a great thrill ride, but it would be a little disrespectful, I feel like, just to be like, oh yeah, a popcorn film.
It was fun. It was a fun time. One Battle After Another. It was good. Had fun.
Definitely like fun, entertaining, but yeah, there's a lot more to it, which is what makes it so lovely. But yeah, what about you for some of those things? You said Fantastic Four?
Fantastic. I guess, yeah, anything Marvel, is technically what happened to the popcorn film franchises, is they turned to superhero movies. Um, Barbie, maybe a few years ago. I think that
Yeah,
was a good popcorn blockbuster. It wasn't like an action movie, but it was a good comedy. It had
yeah.
good sets. Um, Gosh, I don't know. Mission Impossible, of course.
Oh yeah.
Those are good examples.
I wasn't the most in love with
No, me neither.
Final
But
Reckoning, but still very enjoyable for those
good
specific
actions.
action set pieces,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't see a lot of like big action movies that are like really that great. That are just fun, that just lean into being like a fun product that are actually like quality.
Hmm.
John Wick. John Wick was really good when they were coming out. Those John Wicks were fun. They were just straight up like, this is a world, the world is built. Let's just have some fun. And they were enjoyable.
Hmm. Did you see Ballerina?
I did not see
It
Ballerina.
came out earlier this year. It's
I
tragic.
did not see Ballerina.
Well,
Maybe I will stream it. I don't know. We'll see. John Wick is in it, so that's a plus.
he sure is. Well, are you going to go see Tron Ares?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I don't think I'm gonna like it based on the reviews I've read, but I have to support the Tron franchise so that perhaps we get more because I like Tron.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm imagining my dad is going to drag me to go see it. He's a big Tron
Sure,
guy.
that makes sense.
So I'll probably go see it for that reason. Again, the teaser trailer I thought was amazing because it
Yeah,
was
the
visuals,
teaser trailer
like
looked
music forward.
awesome.
And then the trailer where we got a little more of the story, I was like, ooh, this kind of
Dude, I,
seems
sk-
bland.
you told me that, and I avoided watching because I was like, I don't want to be negatively impacted to make a decision of like not wanting to see it. And then I walked into one battle after another or something, and like as it was the trailers are playing, and I usually try to skip the trailers, and I walked in as the trailer was playing for Tron Ares. And
Uh-huh.
this is, am I wrong? Maybe I'm remembering correctly, but at some point does Jared Leto get on a light bike that is like designed like the '80s light bike? Am I wrong?
He might, I don't recall.
God,
I don't recall that from the
maybe it was
trailer.
just an ad. Maybe it was like an ad or something. I vaguely recall seeing Jared Leto like engage the light bike and it turns into like the shitty graphics '80s and he goes retro and he rides off in it. And maybe that was an ad for something. Maybe it wasn't the trailer. I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen in the movie because that looks garbage if it does.
I can't imagine that happening. I don't know why that would happen, but I don't know. We'll see. They made
It
things,
must have been an ad for something like a commercial
could
featuring
be.
Tron Ares. That must be what I had seen. I
Yeah.
thought it was a trailer. Maybe I was wrong. Anyway, that's Tron Legacy. That's all the time we have. If you'd like to give your thoughts on the show, you can email us at theboxofficeshowpod@gmail.com.
Our main title theme for the show, Sundown by Joseph McDade.
If you like the show, please give us 5 stars on whatever podcast app you're listening to. Be sure to tune in next week. Have a great rest of your day.